Yes, Ian Andrews. I'm here as a representative for the workers of Precision Woodworking Limited, a company that went into, that was closed 3 years ago, that went into receivership. I'm here with some of the workers to at least try to get some answers to their concern, because they would have left the job, they would have been paid some of their money with an understanding that at the end of the receivership, or not necessarily receivership, at the end of the court matter that the company was having with the Republic Bank Limited. So at the end of that, they were promised to be paid. But over the past 3 years, there's nothing seems to be going on. There seemed to be a very protracted exercise in the court system. And as a workers' representative, I'm very concerned that they need to have their money. And if there's to be any settlement with the Republic Bank Limited that relates to Precision Woodworking, they will not be the person that suffer.
The employees in 2011 were all told the company was in no financial position to pay their entire severance pay. So they were paid 40%, with the expectation that when the court matter is concluded, they would have been paid the remainder, 60%. But since 2011 to now, we have seen various things. We've seen publications in the newspapers that Precision is now in receivership, that a receiver was appointed. But what we have found is that although the court case has not been concluded, we have found that machinery from Precision Woodworking have disappeared. And we've been told that the entire factory has been sold. Now, I for one approached the receiver, Mr. Kashir Khan. And Mr. Kashir Khan made me to understand, but through his secretary that was, that they would not have been entertaining the liabilities of the workers that were to be paid. Now, only the people who had had their matters settled in court would have been entitled to any payments. Now, we would want to know, if a company goes into receivership, I would expect that the directors would be giving to that receiver their assets, a list of their assets, a list of their liabilities. And we were expecting to be the forced liability. So we need to have answers. We are trying to see if the Republic Bank will tell us something so that we can know what our position is.
Basically, the management of Precision Woodworking had been gagged. They cannot speak to the workers. So seeing that we cannot get any answers from Precision Woodworking management, we expect that those other players, Republic Bank, Kashir Khan, Christopher Ram, among others, can tell us something. Because basically, it is our understanding where there is litigation until such time as a case is concluded, everything stays as is. So it's strange that while a case is going on, things are being sold or probably hijacked, we don't know. It was brought to our attention also that the Biharis probably bought this place. We don't know how that could be, how the Biharis become a player in this whole thing now. So if the Biharis become a player, I think he should be added to the list of, that company should be added to the list of persons who ought to give the workers some kind of explanation. Because it's not just about receivership, it's about human beings who are entitled to something who was promised by the Balkans. The Balkans would have kept their word with a 40% payment, and they are prepared to keep their word when the case is finished so that they can complete the payment to the workers that would have served them over the years.
Very devastating. You know, it crushed, I guess it crushed many families. I had 21 years service when mine was terminated. And there are many of the other guys here who had 15, 18 years. It's a lot of years together. The company was like family to us. It was like home. But what we want to know, who is it that's lying to us? It's obvious somebody is lying to us. We understand with legal proceedings the Balkans have been gagged. They can't say anything publicly, right? But I was seeing correspondence in the papers in which the Vulcan made certain allegations about the bank. The Vulcans accused the bank of reneging on arrangements they made. They said that they had produced a sale of part of their assets, and that proposal was to pay half the debt they had with the bank. Then I understand when Mr. Kashir Khan took up the receivership, Mr. Kashir Khan reneged completely on that agreement of sale. He never went through with the sale, so it was not concluded. Then we also understand that there were $82 million placed in Precision Woodworking Limited account, which the directors know nothing about. But that sounds to me like money laundering. That is why I'll be keep asking if the bank is a mafia bank, if they're running, underworld affairs. Because I don't see how $82 million can go into somebody's account without that person being cognizant of it. They have to have some arrangement. That's underhand business.
If I can add to my colleague, this $82 million was placed in an account by H.N. Sugrim, the owner of Kaichak, popularly known as Chinese. I have never heard about people being so benevolent that they want to put $82 million into somebody's account. There must be something that they are looking for. Only a madman would do something like that. And as regards to what the remuneration they should have for being made redundant, it would be concomitant to their status in the company and their salary levels. That will be worked out by the accountant in keeping with prevailing legal labor laws. So that is not a problem as regards to how it should be. But then again, the Republic Bank, we are of the opinion that they ought to be a responsible institution. But then there's the Bank of Guyana that has an overriding responsibility to monitor all these banks. So if all these things are coming out, we think that the Bank of Guyana is abrogating their responsibility to check into these auxiliary banks to ensure that everything goes according to how banking arrangements should be done. There are many players there. If the bank can't tell us, Kashir should be able to tell us, Christopher Ram should be able to tell us,
who's the auditor
for the bank. Or the Bank of Guyana should seek to have these persons say something. 3 years would have been something where the legal system, and in Friday's newspaper you would have seen an article where Mortimer Goddard would have spoken about this drag that you have in legal matters, especially in the commercial court.
We understood the commercial court was prepared. It was made with expediting cases in mind, quick and swiftest opportunity. And we would want to know why 3 years would pass a case just being put down all the time. We don't understand that. I would understand that Mr. Christopher Ram, who is the auditor for the bank, would also have a loyalty to the shareholders and not the directors. Mr. Christopher Ram, I'm certain would have seen that these are irregular transactions going on. And he should, being a person who has been advocating throughout the last couple of years, against corruption, transparency, etc. I would expect that he would have taken a prominent step to see that, the contrary doesn't happen. But everybody is silent. Everybody is ignoring us.
But what we expect from a responsible organization like the Republic Bank Limited, being such a high-profile, responsible, at least we think they are, they ought to do something, speak to us, because the other party is being gagged, they can talk, so they must talk to us.
But then the other thing that I found alarming is a bank deals with goodwill. Goodwill means a lot to most organizations. Now, accusations have been made against this bank. Why is it that they're not saying anything? Why is it they choose to just completely ignore the entire matter? We can assure them that, it can't be wished away. We are prepared to go to any extent necessary to recover our funds.
I think that the bank has many options available to them as it relates to the Precision Woodworking establishment, because it was one of the most successful, high-profile foreign exchange earner, and their quality of production was above board. I think that they ought to, it could be resolved, at least we think to in the interest of everybody. If they were to resolve things amicably with the management of Republic Bank Limited, it would put that company in a position where they can probably have their, their management thing reestablished. They would be they can create a situation where the workers can then again know that there would be a job for them in a very progressive kind of company, and the payment to these workers could well be worked out by the management. That is one avenue we are looking at, because basically, the bank will not want to invest to lose. So they must create something where they can gain and all the players can live. Yes, if it is that things remain as it were before, we don't think that it should remain as business as usual. We have a new administration who cares to be caring, and we trust that, or we hope and we would like them to look into this thing, see how this could be done, how things could be done, because basically when things reach a stage where organizations think they are law unto themselves, there must be a high order. And we hope that a high order step into this so that this matter could be resolved.